Direct from Foxborough, Massachusetts, the gem of Norfolk County, and taped at the studios of Foxborough Cable Access. It's Foxborough Central. And here's your host, Bob Hickey.
Welcome to another fantastic episode of Foxborough Central. I am Bob Hickey, your host, thanking you for taking a little bit of time to join with me and my guests as we talk about the people, events, and organizations that make Foxborough truly the gem of Norfolk County. And this is going to be what I think our parents used to call a brag show. This is a show about us, Foxborough Cable Access. We are a nonprofit organization. We serve Foxborough with our JPEG channels, and I'm honored to be joined today in person by our president and all-around driving force behind a lot of what we do, Paul Beck. Paul, how are you doing?
Hey, Bob, thank you. Nice to be here.
And I'm also pleased to be joined by our executive director, Michael Weber. Michael is coming to us via Skype, which is one of those technology things that probably a few years ago we never would have even thought to attempt. But now, not only do we attempt it, but we do it successfully. So welcome, Michael.
Good morning. Good morning. And Paul, thank you for shoveling out the studio this morning, or last night.
And it drifted in this morning again.
And we are coming to you in an attempt to drum up a little bit of interest. And when I say that, you know the cable access is around. You're obviously watching us now either on the cable channels on Verizon or Comcast, or over the web at our website, www.fcatv.org. And I know I don't need to say www, but I'm an old fart, and that's the way it rolls. So I know that you know we're here, but do you know everything that we do? And that's why we're looking to talk a little bit about ourselves and also publicize the fact that we have an open house coming up.
We do.
Just this coming week. It's on Tuesday, February 24th, and that'll begin at 6:30. Is that not correct, Mr. Weber?
That is correct, Bob.
That's right. See, every once in a while I pay attention.
And I would say that even weather independent, even if it snows or a blizzard, we're still going to have this thing.
Well, we're enjoying certainly one of the more wintry winters on record. But here at Cable Access, the show must go on, as they say. So not only will the open house occur, but first of all, let's talk about the open house. Located at 28 Central Street, for those of you who are perhaps unfamiliar with the center of town, we have the nice blue awning. We invested in downtown Foxborough a little bit under 5 years ago and moved our studios. We've built it out to be very functional and quite nice. We have Studio A, we have Studio K. K is for kitchen. And we do a lot of our production here, as well as the traditional big truck that folks see around town at parades and at the sporting events and at the music events. So what is going to happen on February 24th, Tuesday at 6:30, that should make people want to come?
Mike, start if you could.
Well, I think the big thing is sometimes, even though we've been around for 30 plus years, people get confused and they're not sure how we're funded, exactly what we do. They see us all around town. They see us covering community events between football games and soccer games and parades and concerts and studio shows, but they don't quite understand how it's all structured. And so this is an opportunity for folks to come in and kind of get those questions answered. And more importantly, if they have some ideas of their own, we're always open to that. Maybe they have a talk show idea. Maybe there's a community event that they'd like to cover in the next 12 months. The greatest thing about Foxborough Cable Access and all the time that I've been involved is that there's this can-do spirit across the board, that if someone walks in the door with an idea, even sometimes if it's a very last-minute idea, we will find a way to make it happen for them. Certainly, they're going to have to invest some time and energy and effort to meet us halfway, but we will get it done. And so this open house will obviously allow people to walk around, and we'll give a tour of the facility, which really is gorgeous. But then answer some of those questions and hopefully, get them going with a possible idea. Or simply if they just want to participate. Maybe they don't have an idea, but they just want to participate and maybe run a camera, learn some audio. Maybe they're into computers and they like to do some video editing. We can help them there as well.
The big piece about Foxborough Cable Access is that we're a nonprofit organization and we are volunteer driven. So as you point out, a lot of the show ideas are simply ideas that come from the people who are volunteering, but there's more than just on-air personality. And people say I don't maybe have enough personality, but there's behind the scenes, there's editing, there's learning the production end of it. And so there's a whole plethora of cool things to do here, as opposed to just sitting here and talking.
Let me jump in and underscore what you're saying. I find that the wide gamut of people who come to Foxborough Cable to be producers or directors or just to participate, as Mike says, is incredible. We have kids who are 9 and 10 years old, even younger in some cases, and we have some seniors who are in their 80s who are very active producers. I won't mention too many names, but Paul Godin is one individual who does all the programs at the Memorial Hall. He does the things at Boyden Library. Neil Kaiser is another individual who does sporting programs, the music programs. There's just so many different opportunities to be creative and to bring events in the town to the home. But more importantly, on DVDs, people can watch them forever. The music programs. Mr. Massey has spoken many times how grateful he is and how the students are grateful when a concert or an event is taped and recorded. Same with sporting events. It's memorialized forever, and these kids have that as part of their history.
And part of that also is folks can request what we call dubs, copies on DVD for a nominal charge here at the cable. Right. So they just have to come in, talk to somebody. Mark Nash at our front desk, who's been there leading this organization one way or another so long. And that happens as well as the recently, I won't say completed, because every time I think it starts to come to an end, there's a whole new treasure trove of information. But I know that you wanted to do a little bragging on some of our volunteers, and one that really stands out to me is the archive project.
Yes. Tell us about that.
Yes, absolutely. The archive project, some of the residents in town probably saw the big article, I guess a month and a half ago now in the Foxborough Reporter that sort of highlighted what was going on. But as I mentioned earlier, Foxborough Cable Access has been around for 35 years. And so we haven't thrown away a single program. So we have really at this point moving images archive of the past 35 years of Foxborough history. And over the years, we've acquired even some earlier videos that were not produced by Foxborough Cable Access, but historical videos in town. And so we have that. And we've been going through the process over the last couple of months of trying to convert those from older tape formats that are starting to degrade. Paul happens to be a specialist when it comes to how to go about this process, and he gave us a lot of guidance. And then Deb Wendell, a Foxborough resident, joined us a couple months back. She had volunteered with us in the past, but really got involved with this archive project and has gone through all of the Historical Society programs, all the Founders Day parades. We did graduations. We did some of the Thanksgiving Day football games, really kind of the key pieces to our collection. And they're now in digital format, multiple digital formats. We've uploaded those programs to archive.org. So they're actually publicly available now as well. Folks can go to archive.org, which is a wonderful nonprofit organization. So we feel that by going through this process, we've really preserved all the hard work and effort and history that Foxborough Cable Access volunteers have done over the years. And I don't know that we'll ever get the entire program archive converted to digital. That's an overwhelming project. But we've sort of targeted some of the key historical related programs and targeted those first. The other person I should mention is Barbara Massey, who alongside Deb Wendell has been working on the Foxborough High School music program and going through and archiving those. So I feel like we're in really good shape. And then just a recent project that we took on, we cleaned up and reorganized the tape library downstairs. There's actually a couple of photos that I'm going to bring up on screen for you here that kind of show you the before and after of what we completed. Almost 5 years ago now, we moved into this building, and the tape library was somewhat organized, but it was mostly in boxes and just kind of put in place. But we finally had an opportunity, thanks to Deb Wendell, to go back and really meticulously lay it out, organize it, and set it up. And you can see here on the screen that how neat and clean it is, and labeled and easy to find now. And so we're thrilled about the archive project, really backing up what we have in the library, and then having it organized for the future.
And that was certainly visible front and center. We received so many positive comments after the Thanksgiving football marathon that was shown on the channels, where the historical football games, and people were talking about, oh, I saw this, I remember that, I remember him, that was my neighbor, I remember that. And it was a very real front and center result of all this hard work that's gone into it behind the scenes. And Mike, you mentioned about our downstairs, and I think this is a good time to remind folks that we want you to come see our downstairs. We want you to come visit us at 28 Central Street on Tuesday, February 27th, starting at 6:30, to come out, see who we are, what we are, where we are, and see if it's something you might be interested in getting, your feet wet and a little bit of dabbling of your creativity. See what happens.
While we're tooting horns, I need to toot Mike's horn for a little bit too, because as our executive director, he's also our technology director. He really has been on the cutting edge of how Foxborough Cable produces its programs. Not only this great studio and the equipment that feeds the programs out via file server, we don't have tape machines that play the tapes and DVDs here. It's all done via a digital file server. And Mike has been the expert behind that to make it all work. And we just got a new one this week, as a matter of fact.
That's right, we are upgrading.
So it's really, really neat. But the more important thing is how we produce programs in the field. We do have the TV truck, and most people have seen the box truck that has the capability of doing 8 or 9 cameras to cover events. Well, we recently have put together 2 fly pack packages with high-def cameras. And one is in residence at the high school gym now, and we're doing all the boys and girls basketball games in high def with slow motion replay and high def. It's really, really neat. And we had some people who were just visiting the studio here one day, and they heard that this thing was having its maiden voyage up at the high school. So they went up to take a look at it, and they were just thoroughly impressed. And they're not huge, big cameras, they're little tiny ones. But the quality of the images and how well the game can be covered is just really great.
And I would also point out that not only is it a technology win, but also the way Michael does such a great job positioning us, partnering with the schools. We now have a permanent, spot in there, so we can create a better product. And I think that folks who've been watching the channels, I watch the basketball games because not only am I a fan, but I'm a fan of the channels. You can definitely see the skill that goes into it, and the fact that there can be instant replay as it's happening is not what you would typically see with a cable operation. So it's very interesting to see.
Very cool. Another facet too is how well Mike has steered our operation in relationship to Deb Spinelli and the school department, as well as with the selectmen and the town government. There are 3 PEG channels, the public access channel, which is channel 8 or channel 39, but the other 2 channels are the government and the education channel. And that doesn't happen by just osmosis. The Keebler elves don't come out of the walls and make that happen. It happens through diligent relationship building, communication. I don't think a day goes by that Mike isn't in contact with somebody in the school department or in the town government, especially with the foul weather we've had, the public address announcements and the safety announcements. It's just, we are so proud to be part of the town and part of this life-sustaining part of Foxborough. It's just great.
Well, it is an integral piece of what Foxborough is and how we communicate out, and along with the emergency messages and Michael's hard work of not only that, but the Twitter feeds and the Facebook feeds and having our website update and having the bulletin boards. And you had mentioned before about investment. That doesn't happen by accident. That happens through positioning. We've always had support from the selectmen and their the joint committee that does the negotiations on our behalf, but that doesn't, again, the Keebler elves don't show up. That all starts with laying the groundwork and keeping an open line of communication. So a lot of credit to Michael and all the hard work. Right. And hopefully people will get to come out there and see some of that, because all that investment isn't possible unless we have good communication, strong support, and funding available. And we do. And I think that the current upgrade project, and Michael, you can talk about this, is going to really be in everybody's television when the new bulletin board system goes online. I think I'm calling it the wrong thing, but being a layman, that's what I'm going to call it.
It is a bulletin board system. We're upgrading the master control, which is all the outgoing programming. So whether that's the programs that you watch or the bulletin board, both are being upgraded. And residents in town should notice a change. They should see some improvements on our website. The schedule will be automatically pushed and published to our website directly from the playback system.
And hopefully it'll also make...
Skype is freezing on us a little bit.
And that's okay, but I would also point out that hopefully that'll allow...
also purchased a video on demand server. Oops, sorry, am I breaking up there a little bit?
Yeah, you were.
A little bit, but I'm going to recap what you were just getting to, because Lauren Bitar, who's been a longtime member of the family here, she updates the bulletin board, and along with Mark Nash, keeps the information current. Folks call in to Cable Access, say, hey, my event is doing something, would you please put it on the bulletin board? And they do, but it doesn't just magically happen. It requires input there, multiple systems. The television program has to be manually uploaded, and then all that information has to get onto a schedule on the web, and then it also has to get to the newspaper for the schedule. This playback system will allow for so much productivity gains as far as being able to just click and pick, as opposed to the current upload system, and then the communication and the scheduling. And Michael had just come back on from his breakup to an on-demand thing, which I think is going to be so cool for folks who are watching on the web at www.fcatv.org. They're going to be able to pick a program and they can watch it when they want, on demand, cable access. Who knew that was possible?
While I have a moment here, I have to mention too that you mentioned Lauren Bitar, but she is the force behind putting all the programming together and scheduling it and make sure it happens. Janet Gavin and Marg Nash, who are the office managers here, who when you call, Janet or Marg would be the one you talk to. Other people behind the scenes, Jillian, Frank McDowell, Mike Everson, who do the selectmen and the school committee events. Mike will talk a little bit about Jillian. She's one of our apprentice, not a volunteer, but tell us a little bit about Jillian.
It's a new role that Michael created, and it's worked out so well.
So great.
It's worked out so well.
Tell us about Jillian.
And I'm not only going to say it works out well,
hopefully
but
my Skype connection here.
Go right ahead.
Sure, it appears there's a little lag here. Hopefully my connection remains stable. Jillian is now on board with us and serving in a production assistant role. And what's great about that is that as volunteers are learning how to edit, or really any of the software packages that are on our computer workstations, she is now available to sit down. People can make an appointment with her and get their programs edited and ready for air. And she has she's going to college for this. She's going to have a degree in video production. So she's a specialist that can help with, just a little fine-tune adjustments that make a program look more professional, more, and that might be just better graphics, making sure that they all meet safe title areas and appropriate music, and checking the levels and all the little things that, again, like I said, make a program look professional. And so she is at Foxborough Cable Access a couple days a week. And we're also going to be, in addition to that open house, holding a Final Cut 10 editing workshop coming up March 3rd, and we're going to be doing that for 3 Tuesdays in a row at 6:30. And so people can sign up for those as well. There's no prior experience necessary to sign up for that. And that will get you started. And then Jillian can assist along with some other volunteers to help you. So again, we're pushing this concept of a sort of a can-do spirit, that if people want to learn, we're here to help. And you don't necessarily even have to be in the middle of producing a FCA related show. You might just have an interest in Final Cut 10, and you can certainly join us. We're fine with that.
Well, it's also new technology. We're not talking about the way your grandfather produced a show, and this is one of the things that I think the recurring theme is that FCA is investing in our future and investing in our volunteers. You know, and keeping it current. You mentioned about the high def. Right. There are so many different ways that cable access has today's technology incorporated, and so becoming a volunteer here now is really current. It's a way to get involved now and for the future. So it's a good place to be.
I was a fly on the wall the other day. Mike and I were talking about some things in the front of the studio, and a gentleman walked in, and he just wanted to ask how you would start doing a program. He has an idea to do a series of programs on home security.
Oh.
And it just, I sort of backed off and let Mike and this gentleman begin their conversation. And tell us a little bit about that, Mike. I was just impressed at how this gentleman just literally walked in off the street with an idea.
He did, and I could tell that the idea had been sort of in the back of his mind for a while, and I don't know if he just happened to be driving by or he finally had a day to stop in, but he came in, and we had a great conversation, and in his situation, he actually works for a security company, and so he brings some credibility to the table, can have some great conversations around that. And certainly Foxborough, Chief O'Leary has sent out a number of alerts over the past year about home break-ins and cars being broken into. Mm-hmm. And so he had some interesting concepts about even just, I think he pointed out landscaping as being just one factor that plays.
That's Skype.
Well, I think part of it also is people can do their own show, and we're very encouraging of that. Or, and one of the reasons why I love doing this is that we also give a platform, if you will, here at Foxborough Central. This is sort of a gateway opportunity. We have one great show that's going on now, Deb Storrs, who's one of our crew members. Thank you so much for coming on. It's a beautiful day, Deb. But we have her producing a show with Mike Damazzi, who is doing a cooking show. And the first 2 episodes were actually on this program. We broke in Studio K, and now he has his own program, and it's well received. I look forward to watching it.
The best part of those shows, though, and I have been part of the crew of that, is once they prepare all this food, somebody has to eat it.
Somebody has to eat it.
Somebody has to eat these wonderful things.
So I'm a big fan of cooking shows. So if anybody wants to do a cooking, no, I'm just kidding. Actually, this is a great opportunity to say, if you have an idea for a show or would like to appear as a guest on this program, please reach out to me at foxcentral@fcatv.org. We'd love to have you. And if you have an idea for yourself, a friend, an organization, or an event here in Foxborough, this is what this program is for, Foxborough Central.
Excellent. Well, we're getting close to time here, so I have projects to do today. We're fixing Studio K up, new cameras in the ceiling. So I will be working most of the day before the snow flies again.
And we're going to give Michael the last word. And as we get ready for that, we're going to remind everybody that we hope to see you here at the studios of Foxborough Cable Access on Tuesday, February 24th, beginning at 6:30. Come on by, check us out, and see what we can do for you and see what you can do for us. Michael, last word.
Just thank you very much, Bob, for having us on the show. I appreciate what you're doing with Foxborough Central and the Movie Vault. I think they're just wonderful community programs, and thank you for allowing me to come in here via Skype this morning. This has been fun, and also thank Paul for I didn't get a chance to give kudos to Paul, but he is always working on projects to make our station just better. He's installing cameras today for Studio K. That's awesome.
Well, I think the overarching message is there are a lot of people who care about cable access and a lot of good folks here. Michael Weber is the best executive director. Paul Beck is the best president. And I'm your best host on Foxborough Central. I'm so glad you took the time to join us. Enough of this stuff. I hope you have a great day, Foxborough, and I hope to see you out here on Tuesday, February 24th. Until then, have a great day.